Kick off the race at this hour. Let's cross live to our reporter Ntakwana Ngatana, who's out at Nasrec, where the ANC will be holding its highly anticipated 54th elective conference. Ntakwana, a very good afternoon to you. Do give us the latest as preparations get in full swing in Nasrec. How are things going there?
Well, Alicia, I have put on my walking shoes. I should have also taken a clipboard with me to come and take everything that's been done here as preparations are finalized and the stage is set for what is to be the 54th National Conference of the ANC. And it is to be held here in Nasrec, which is a stone's throw away from the mighty FNB Stadium, but also very near Soweto, Southwestern Townships, that was founded in the 1930s, the historic place of South Africa. But what I can tell you is that what I've seen, if I can ask my camera to start where I was, what I've seen is people putting up flags, and these have lined the streets coming to Nasrec, and anywhere you are, you will be able to find your way to Nasrec if you follow those flags. But also you remember that this year is the year of OR Tambo, that is designated by the African National Congress, and therefore everywhere you look in terms of the branding, you will see the picture of OR Tambo, but also you have a message at the entrances that says to you, Gauteng Province welcomes you, and again, a year of Oliver Reginald Tambo, let us deepen unity. These are just some of the things that I've seen here. Now, again, if I can just say to you that this area is about 20 kilometers to Lutuli House, where everything is being planned, but it's also about just 10 kilometers to Vilakazi Street in Soweto. And so those who come to Nasrec will be able to take time perhaps to go and visit sites where Nelson Mandela lived, Oliver Tambo lived, but also the Hector Peterson Museum. These are just some of the sites that they can go to if they come to Nasrec. But let me talk to this sign here that's behind me. It says NEC Park. And this is the very reason that this conference will be happening here. It is to elect the NEC, to elect the new leadership, and that will consist the president, the deputy president, it will consist the secretary-general and other officials, about 80 coming from nominated by the movement, but also the chairpersons of provinces, as well as secretaries, presidents of the Women's League, the Youth League, the Veterans League. These are officials that will be elected. But this parking here is designated for those who will come here as members of the NEC, but by the time they leave here, some of them may have lost those parking spots, and those people who will lose those parking spots in this area include President Jacob Zuma. So this is what I'm checking here today. Later on, I'll move inside. I have met and seen a couple of catering companies. I have seen security agencies driving in and out of this area, and I'll go inside and check the actual venue to see what is actually set up. And as I say, I think maybe when I go inside, I'll have that clipboard with me and a pen to tick off everything that's been done and everything that's not done up to now. Alicia?
Absolutely, Ntakwana. Please take that clipboard with you. We also understand, Ntakwana, just on the sidelines of that there are actually indeed a few policy discussions that will be taking place in the sidelines of this elective conference. What can we expect in that regard, Ntakwana? I do know that issues like security and of course health were some of the topics that have been brought up to be discussed later on.
I tell you what, Alicia, I have attended some of the committee briefings ahead of this conference, and one of them was international relations, and this is to do with the policies that the ANC wants to adopt in terms of its relations with other countries, and things like Israel had to come up, issues like Morocco had to come up. But also the other issue that the other committee that I attended was that of organizational renewal, and the chairperson Fikile Mbalula, spoke very much about what is dogging the movement at the moment, talking about corruption, talking about abuse of state resources, and also saying that the movement, when it comes here, it has to relook at itself to ensure that it does not perish following this conference. But also, I think other issues that are now being discussed include governance, security, and lots of other issues that will be discussed here. And those policies will then either make their way to the legislation that the ANC will implement in the country when it continues to govern the country, but also how it executes its mandate in terms of its relations with people, including its own alliance partners. As you know, that one of the key issues at the moment is that partnership with the SACP, which has gone alone in contesting Metsimaholo. And when we went to the Free State, to the elective conference there, the SACP said it wants that alliance to be reconfigured. So these are just some of the major issues that we expect to come out of this conference. Alicia?
All right, Ntakwana, just before I let you go, I can see that it's still relatively quiet behind you. A lot of the delegates have not yet arrived, but do tell us.
And it's beginning to rain.
Absolutely. Well, we can see that. Unfortunately, let me be very fast, Ntakwana, but have you managed to speak to some that are there, that are, of course, are preparing for things to happen if they've heard the news about the dismissed court cases in the Eastern Cape and, of course, the out-of-court settlement in the Matthews Posa saga? What are they saying about this?
Well, Alicia, these are just some of the issues that we'll talk to the officials about when we talk to them later on. But I can tell you that the people that I did speak to are the caterers who said to me that they'll be cooking things like papa and mangina and other things that are synonymous with this area. So those delegates will be well fed when they come here, Alicia.
All right, Ntakwana, let me let you go inside and take some cover. Don't forget that clipboard and mark everything as you go. I'll be checking with you in the next hour to see if everything, of course, has been checked and balanced. That is our reporter on the scene in the thick of things out in Nasrec, where, of course, the 54th ANC National Elective Conference is to convene in a couple of days' time. And she was giving us the state of preparedness or readiness ahead of that conference.